What if you could remember everything? Every conversation you've ever had, every meal, every day, every moment. Perfect recall, total memory, nothing ever forgotten. That sounds like a superpower. It is not. There are currently around 60 confirmed cases worldwide of a condition called hyperthymesia. People who cannot forget a single day of their lives. Ask them what happened on any specific date and they will tell you, instantly, completely, the weather, what they ate, what they were wearing, what was on television. Every embarrassing moment they have ever experienced replaying at full intensity, forever. Hyperthymesia was first formally identified in 2006 by researchers James McGaugh and Aurora Laporte at the University of California, Irvine. Their first subject was a woman named Jill Price. She contacted the researchers with a simple claim: she remembered everything. Every day since she was approximately 14 years old. The researchers were skeptical. They tested her extensively. They gave her dates, random historical dates. She gave back not just the date, but what she personally did on that day. They cross-referenced her answers with her diaries, news archives, and historical records. The accuracy was extraordinary. She wasn't just good at dates, she was perfect. Ask her what she did on March 14, 1988. She will tell you right now what she had for lunch, what she was thinking about, what she saw on the news. The researchers named the condition highly superior autobiographical memory, hyperthymesia. From the Greek, hyper meaning excessive and thymesia meaning remembering. Since Jill Price, around 60 confirmed cases have been identified worldwide, including actress Marilu Henner, who publicly discussed her perfect recall. Most cases were identified after the subjects themselves came forward, because they only gradually realized that other people do not remember everything. For most people with hyperthymesia, childhood felt relatively normal. It was in adolescence that the condition began to feel overwhelming, as the archive of memories grew larger and larger, and nothing ever left it. Jill Price described her experience in a memoir. The title tells you everything. She called it, "The Woman Who Can't Forget." That distinction is important. She doesn't choose to remember everything. She is unable to stop. Driving past a location triggers every memory associated with that location, simultaneously. Hearing a song triggers every memory of every time she heard that song, at once, not sequentially, simultaneously, every associated memory activating at the same moment. She describes it as like watching two televisions at once, all the time. One showing the present, one constantly showing memories, and she cannot turn off the second screen. For most people, painful memories fade. The emotional intensity decreases over time. We forget details, the edges soften. For people with hyperthymesia, this does not happen. Every embarrassing moment, every painful interaction, every regret, all at original intensity, forever. Jill Price described her memory as a burden she would give anything to lift. She said she envied people who could forget. The most ordinary human cognitive capacity, forgetting, felt like a superpower she didn't have. Other confirmed cases report similar experiences: the inability to let go of the past, the constant interruption of the present by perfect memories, the difficulty forming new relationships because every previous interaction is too vivid. The condition sounds enviable from the outside. From the inside, it is described universally as exhausting. Researchers have studied the brains of hyperthymesia subjects extensively, using MRI and fMRI to look at brain structure and activity during memory tasks. What they found is distinctive and consistent across cases. Several brain regions are significantly enlarged in hyperthymesia subjects: the caudate nucleus, the putamen. regions associated with habit formation and procedural memory. Interestingly, these regions are associated with obsessive-compulsive tendencies, and most confirmed hyperthymesia subjects report some degree of OCD-like behavior, collecting, organizing, categorizing, arranging. The leading hypothesis, hyperthymesia, is essentially an obsessive-compulsive attachment to autobiographical memory. The same compulsive mechanism that drives OCD-style repetitive behavior is applied to memory. Memory is constantly replayed, reinforced, and encoded with obsessive thoroughness, rather than gradually fading, as memories normally do. What looks from the outside like a memory superpower is from the inside an inability to let memories go. The brain is stuck in a compulsive memory loop it cannot exit. This hypothesis also explains the timing. Hyperthymesia typically intensifies in adolescence, when autobiographical identity formation peaks. The period when humans most intensely process and define themselves through their life story. In hyperthymesia subjects, that process goes into overdrive and never stops. Research is still ongoing. Fewer than 100 cases have ever been studied. The condition is rare enough that comprehensive neuroscientific study is difficult. What we know is tantalizing. What we don't know is vast. Hyperthymesia raises a question most people never think to ask. Why do we forget? We tend to think of forgetting as a failure, a limitation, a cognitive weakness. But hyperthymesia suggests forgetting is actually an essential feature, not a bug. Forgetting allows the brain to prioritize, to let go of irrelevant information, to maintain perspective, to move forward without being anchored to every past experience. The ability to forget painful experiences allows emotional healing. The ability to forget irrelevant details allows the brain to operate efficiently. The ability to forget, in short, is what allows us to live in the present. People with hyperthymesia are permanently anchored to every moment of their past. They cannot simplify their narrative of who they are, because every detail, including the contradictory ones, is equally and permanently available. Most of us gradually construct a simplified, curated story of our lives, forgetting the parts that don't fit, emphasizing the parts that do. This is not deception. It is how the brain creates a functional self. People with hyperthymesia cannot do this. Every version of themselves is equally remembered. Every person they've been, every contradictory belief they've held, every inconsistency, all present, all equally vivid, all equally inescapable. Forgetting is how most of us survive our own pasts. People with hyperthymesia are denied that mercy. Around 60 people on Earth cannot forget a single day of their lives. Not a superpower. A burden they would trade for the ordinary human ability to forget. And a reminder that forgetting, something most of us treat as a failure, is actually one of the most important things our brains do. If you want more of what the human brain is actually capable of, subscribe. Next week, an island that appeared on every map for over 100 years. A ship sailed to find it. There was nothing there.